So we're going to start by creating just a flooring material, and you could start with under the architecture tab, floor, architectural floor. Those are all architectural floors. They're multiple materials, multiple, they call them layers in here. I'm going to pick the one that says wood finish. You don't really want architectural floors, you just want finished materials. So if you say edit type, duplicate, and you call this just wood finish, and then you go under the structure and you say you just want oak flooring. The secret to using this is that whereas you can delete things in the core boundary, when there has to be something that lies between these two rows that say core boundary. So you see I can't pick on that and delete it until I have picked the finish and said move it down so it lies between those two boundaries. Then I can pick the structural part and say delete. And that it's 3/4 inches thick and probably either felt or something underneath it. But here what we're going to do is say that's my material. If you look under the material button there, you see it says that was oak flooring. So it's called, oh blimey, I'm going to call that oak flooring. Under the graphics it says use the same colors as you see in the appearance tab, use render appearance, then you can turn it off. Surface pattern is it shows 3-inch parallel lines. I'll show you how you can make your own pattern here, but notice that it's called a model pattern. It's something is life size and appears inside the model. And if you cut through it, you're going to get a diagonal crosshatch like that, or not crosshatch, diagonal down. If you did something like have a section through it, that might be 3/4 of an inch, might be kind of tiny for doing that. So what I'm going to do is say here none. So where is it? No pattern. And okay, so now I've got a finished floor pattern. It's just 3/4 of an inch thick, and if I come in here and I say I'm still in the floor command, and I'm using this style, and I'm going to say something like put a floor in against that wall, and that. So that would come in on that level, which is slightly above the architectural floor. You should see the pattern. And if I do something like say put a camera in here, I'm going to see this in the project. I've left some stuff in the interior. So there's the flooring material. So we want to make our own. So let's go back to architecture, creating a floor, placing a floor. But what we're going to do is we're going to say down here, edit type. Starting with that, I'm going to say duplicate that, call it quarry tile. Right, so down under here, instead of using oak flooring, we're going to come and we're going to say tile quarry. Bring it into your project. Just check it's quarry tile square terracotta. Graphics is use the same as the render appearance. Render appearance is this what it looks like. So notice under the graphics at the moment is there's no surface pattern for what the tile is like. If you go to appearance and you click on this is the image, you see it's a photograph. So probably a JPEG or a PNG file, but it's a photograph of the object that you want to have in there. you can specify down here what size the actual image is. So that, just looking at that, is that the 6-inch image is 2 tiles side by side. So the actual spacing of any pattern would be 3 inches. And you can adjust this if you want the tile to be bigger, and you can turn it and you can do all kinds of things with it. But right now, just we want a 3-inch tile. So back to graphics. For the surface pattern, this would be in the model, so make sure that you check on that button. And you've got already a 3-inch parallel, but I'm going to do one just from the beginning so you see how it's created. So new, I'll just call it tile 3-inch. The beginning angle for the lines 0, spacing 3 inches, but it's to be cross-hatched, and the other direction is also to be 3 inches. And then you've made the pattern. It says here use tile 3 inches. Not going to have anything when it cuts. And OK, and OK, and OK one more time. So back in here, and I'm saying I'm still in the floor command. Just let me show you. You could cancel out, right? So you, but you don't want to discard the floor that you were creating. So I'm just going to draw a piece of the floor. So if I do something like give me some quarry tile over here, and then say I'm done, I'm going to see that in my project. Okay, if I do some carpet, just to starting with something that already exists, edit type, duplicate, carpet, okay, edit, material, carpet, there's a carpet there. Let me just go back and show you that, so try and make this, so carpet, let me, don't know why that says carpet 1, let me rename and just call it carpet. So the material's called carpet, the graphics just says carpet, graphics are, use the same images here. If you want to see what size the sample was, so you could get images of, you could take an image of a sample carpet and then you could note what size it is. So I'm thinking of you get like 2 foot, 3 foot samples of typical carpets. Sherwin-Williams has some images on their site. That's the actual size of the image there. I've also got, if you click not on the image, it takes you to the size, but if you click on the name, this should be pointing you to a folder that has all the different image files in it for all kinds of things, many more than just the number of materials that are. So it's in the mats folder. I need to check your machines to make sure you've got the mats folder. But if, for example, I pick I was trying to find just a carpet. I'll leave it at that. I was going to show you could switch for a different image. What is that? Fabric lace, never mind. So there's my image. Go like that. It's got the material up here. Okay. I am in the middle of creating the floor. Oops, sorry, I changed that one to carpet. That was the one that was tile. So if I do create similar, now I've got up here, I've got, do you want carpet? Do you want quarry tile? put the quarry tile in here. And done. So if I go back to my camera view, you should be able to see that you've got different materials in your project. And if I click on our RR is the fast key for rendering, just draft exterior sun only. So that would be about creating new materials. I now need to show you how to manage it's a little on the dark side. We do adjust exposure, brighter, that's a bit better. So you can see the materials. That was draft quality, so remember when you up the quality it takes longer but the images look more realistic. So this is not a big model, so high render. That is a decal. That is a painted surface in the architectural model, and then the rest of it is just in your model, which is very kind of lightweight, and you're just adding your content on top of the architectural content.